Welcome everyone, Marcelo is my name. I'm the niche fragrance collector and I'm in love with perfumes. I really enjoy niche perfumery and the complexity of it. Now, before I go into that and what's in front of me, I need to let you know a little bit about the people who are around me that help me in bringing to life, I guess, all things with the channel. Now, I have three very strong, very determined women who are, I guess, a very strong influence when it comes to the things that I'm doing within the Niche Fragrance Collector channel. One of them is my wife, the other one is my daughter, and finally, my sister. Now, all three of these women, they are super passionate. They're really determined. They have very strong views. And one thing that we do in our family is we share we're very real in the way we speak to one another. Nothing is ever said in any malicious way, but sometimes it's said very direct. I know that my wife, sometimes I create something and she'll say, it's rubbish, I don't like it. So you're like, do you want to sugarcoat it a little bit? But if it's rubbish, it's rubbish. Well, how can I sugarcoat that? It's up to the listener now to be offended or not offended. I listen to these women and I'm listening and they're saying, you really should go in this particular direction. I want you, these are the reasons why, So I'm listening, yep. But one thing that drives them crazy, and I don't do this on purpose, but I too have my views. And so I'm like, I hear what you're saying, but we're gonna go this way. So ladies, if you're watching, we're about to go rogue again. Now I don't do it to spite them, I promise. I do listen, and actually they always give me, sometimes to my own detriment, and there's a classic scene in The Lion King where Timon and Pumbaa, and they just find Simba for the first time. Bear with me, I'll tell you where this is going. And Pumbaa says, you know what, when this lion grows up, he could be on our side. And Timon says, shut up, don't be stupid. And then all of a sudden he goes, hang on, I just realized he could be on our side. Now I get these ideas from these beautiful women who are trying to support me and help me. And I'm like, no, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. And then maybe a week later, I'll say, you know what, I just had an idea. They want to throttle me. So one thing that they always say to me is make sure that conversations that we're doing, or that I'm doing on the channel, are trending so that people can, as you go on to YouTube and whatever it may be, or Google, that these will pop up. And so, yes, I agree. I completely agree. Ladies, I want to create content that is trending and things that people are interested in listening to or finding more about. However, this is now me going in this direction. Sometimes there are perfume houses and fragrances out there that they're under the radar. And why are they under the radar? I don't know. They're a new house perhaps, or in this case here, when you type in Manos Kyriakis, you get Immortelle, which is one of his fragrances. It is a beautiful fragrance. It gets a lot of reviews. However, he has an extensive library of perfumes, and I don't know why the others don't get the traction that they deserve, basically. So the fragrance that I want to talk about is called Quintessence. I've had the chance to travel to Greece. We fell in love with one island, and that's the island of Rhodos, or Rhodes. And if you like, as a kid, your 7 wonders of the world, that was where the Colossus of Rhodes was. And we just fell in love. We've been back a number of times. There's something magical about this place. Now, when I sprayed this fragrance here, Quintessence, it transported me to Rhodes. It transported me to, and I don't know why. So one thing about Rhodes is that it's a medieval city. It was the Knights Templar. Now, one thing that they have is a dry moat, and we would do yoga in this dry moat. I know one thing that Manos does, he likes to use local Greek botanicals in his fragrances. And I'm gonna say that there was something there. There was something, because on first spray, I was taken to this moat, I was taken to this place, I was taken to the city. My memory started to then flood with all these different things of this beautiful walled city that is Rhodes. The house of Manos Kyriakis is actually named after the perfumer, Manos. Now, he is Greece's first niche perfume house, which is pretty cool, considering that the Greeks were, if you go back into the BC, they were part of evolving and developing perfume as an industry. I mean, they understood the extraction of oils from plants to scent and things of that nature. I mean, their knowledge was passed on to the Romans, essentially. So to have a house, or a first niche house in Greece, I think is super cool. In preparation for today, I actually, so I've been wearing the fragrance over the last few days, and I hadn't worn it for a while. So I bought this during our winter, so colder months, so it plays beautifully over winter. Today is a very hot day. I turned off the aircon. I'm sweating a little bit in here, but anyway, but it plays really, really well over our summer period. Sometimes I find that sort of oriental style fragrances or ambery style fragrance play beautifully over cooler months, but on summer, a little bit too cloy, a little bit too warm or too spicy, and they sort of throw me off. This is playing. I mean, I wore it this morning, I sprayed it on. It's a phenomenal fragrance. On opening, you have saffron, clove, and black pepper. Then in the heart, you have davana, patchouli, cedarwood, and oud. Then finally in the base, amber, vanilla, and benzoin balm. Opens up beautifully spicy. So, and it's interesting that it has clove in that opening, and clove sometimes throws me off. So I love Viking Creed, but I have to suffer through the opening of Viking because that clove is just too much for me. I find that the clove is pretty intense. Whereas here, the vanilla and the amber, I think it's softening the whole thing down. So yes, I'm getting that beautiful spicy sort of very crisp, sort of zingy kind of opening. Then as the fragrance settles, it keeps those components. And so it doesn't go to a classic oriental phase. Like I said, it plays well on a day like today. So on a hot summery day, the fragrance doesn't go to this warm, heavy, sort of ambery place. All right, so the business end to this particular fragrance. Do I love this? Yes, 100%. If it's in the collector's collection, it means that I own it. So my rating on this is 100. My wife. Now, my wife loves fragrances that she loves on me are more aromatic to dry woods. Because this is more in the oriental ambery sort of part of the fragrance wheel, she loves it, but she doesn't love it. So she's in that, so I'm going to put her at about 50 to 55%. She loves parts of this fragrance, but there are also some parts in here that she's like, ugh, it doesn't work for me. When it comes to others, this fragrance works. So I have a fragrance bar, so directly right there, if the cameras were to swivel, you will see that there's a fragrance bar. There's quite a number of fragrances on there. And I purposely have that there so that staff who come in, do work, they come in as a clean canvas, they can spray something new every day. Now, my editor, a young lady, probably about mid-20s, if I go out on a meeting and I walk in, so I open the office door, boom, I can smell Quintessence, and I already know that this is the one that, now as I said, she's a young lady, mid-20s, and so she enjoys wearing this particular fragrance. So gender neutral, works well on a man, also on a woman. When it comes to its longevity, I get about 6 hours today, hot day, I am sweating today, and the fragrance as I'm speaking to you is popping on me right now. I'm just being enveloped by Quintessence. So there you have it, Manos Kyriakinis, awesome fragrance house from Greece. Quintessence is my recommendation. Very easy appealing, male, female, and works on both. I would recommend that you look at their other fragrances in their range. Actually, they've got a beautiful collection. They've got one called Rose Poetic. If you like rose, it's spectacular. There's another one called Pivoni. I think it's Pivoni. My wife loves this one, so it's a peony, floral kind of fragrance. So they're all unique. So it's not, when you spray, you're like, oh, a little bit like this. No. These are distinct, unique fragrances. And again, I go back to what I was saying. Why are we not hearing more about these guys, with other reviews? And a question for another time. Anyway, thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, if you want to actually show me anything new that's out there that you've fallen in love with, that's also under the radar, a bit of a hidden gem, I'd love to hear about it because I'd love exploring this stuff. Yes, I love the stuff that's trending. I love hearing about, those bigger brands, but it's also exciting shining a light on these brands that are, they're doing things different and they just need a little bit more sort of people to sort of point in their direction. Anyway, all the best, guys. Thanks so much.